This is The State of Gaming, a show where we gamers get together and talk about the biggest news stories of the week and then argue about them on Twitter because, well, what else is there to do? In today's episode, we'll be talking about the most recent PlayStation acquisitions and who they'll be adding to their first-party studio stable lineup. We've also got an unusual developer is going to maybe be getting their hands on the Silent Hill IP, and Ghosts of Tsushima is getting a director's cut. I'm Dalton Evans, and let's jump into it. We got the announcement from Herman Hulst via the PlayStation blog that Studio House Marquee would be joining the PlayStation family. The studio has a long history of working with PlayStation, having previously made PS4 exclusive Resogun, Nexogun, Matterfall, and most recently 2021's Returnal. And then the following day, another acquisition was announced by Herman Hulst, this time via Twitter, where he stated that Dutch studio Nixxes Software would be joining the PlayStation first-party lineup as well. Hulst continued with a bit of history between the two parties, saying that Nixxes helped Guerrilla ship Killzone Shadowfall, which was a PS4 exclusive similar to Resogun. The developer also has a history of working on PC ports for games such as the rebooted Tomb Raider franchise, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, and 2020's Avengers game. This acquisition only bolsters the hopes that PC fans have for ported exclusives that remain exclusive, like Bloodborne, looking at you Bloodborne, and other previously exclusive Sony platform games. When we see relationships like Playground Games with Microsoft, Insomniac with PlayStation, and these partnerships that publishers have with developers and how they kind of grow and build over time, it's not really a surprise to me that this happened, because obviously House Marquee has had a long history of partnerships with PlayStation in helping them make games, and Nixxes will only help them even more with their PC porting, because they're no doubt they're following Microsoft's lead, because they see how much success Microsoft has had with porting their exclusives over to PC as well. We now move to news that came out Wednesday surrounding the Bloober Team and publisher Konami. The two groups have formed a strategic partnership in pursuit of cooperation during development of future content. And while nothing was announced, many fans immediately thought of Silent Hill, a franchise that has been dormant for many years and has been waiting for revival following the fallout between Hideo Kojima and Konami several years ago. Rest in peace, PT. What could have been? What could have been? With Bloober Team's history of horror game development, including the Blair Witch Project, the Medium, and both Layers of Fear games, a Silent Hill reboot could very well be on the horizon for the developer. For Bloober Team and Konami's partnership, I think that this is a big chance for Bloober Team to really show what they're made of. They've had some good games in the past. I really enjoyed the Medium, even though it wasn't for everyone. It was kind of a divisive game. They also made both the Blair Witch Project, which was released a couple of years ago, and they also had Layers of Fear 1 and 2, which were also really good. So they have a decent track record with horror games. So giving them the keys to the Silent Hill property could end really well for them and help them secure funding for future projects down the road, and who knows where they could go from there. So that's good. And our final story of today involves PlayStation exclusive Ghosts of Tsushima, a fan favorite that will be getting a director's cut for both PS4 and PS5. The new version will release August 20th. A new island will be available to explore with this director's cut, which will also feature additional story. The PS5 version of the game will offer lip sync for Japanese voiceover, performance improvements of decreased load times, 4K resolution options, and targeting of 60 frames per second. There will also be a physical version of the director's cut released as well. The PS5 version will be $69.99 and the PS4 version will be $59.99. There are various pricing details listed in the article detailing the director's cut, which I will link in the description, as well as links to the other stories discussed in this video. For those who wanted a next-gen version of Ghosts of Tsushima, you got your wish granted. For me, Ghost of Tsushima's director's cut is interesting because you kind of see a fork in the road, a diverging of paths with the way that these publishers are handling their games. For instance, Microsoft is Smart Delivery, where they basically will give you the next-gen version for free as long as you have the Xbox One version, versus PlayStation, not to say that they're wrong, but they are basically offering a next-gen upgrade, and they're also charging you for it. So there's definitely the discussion that could be had there about who's right and who's wrong. It would certainly seem like Xbox is more consumer friendly in that aspect because they're offering you a free upgrade versus PlayStation, but I digress. If you're happy about the PlayStation upgrade, you'll get 4K, 60 FPS, all that good jazz, and awesome. And that wraps up this week's episode of The State of Gaming. If you made it this far, thanks for being a part of the conversation about the things that we all love, which is games. Let me know what your thoughts were on the stories that I talked about. Subscribe if you didn't know about any of these stories and you want to stay in the loop on all of your favorite games. I'm Dalton Evans, and I'll talk to you next time.